Merhaba, it's Can from Turkish, and in this training I'm going to show you how you can become conversational in Turkish in just 3 months. Let's get started. So this training is for you if you're living in Turkey or visiting Turkey frequently, if you want to get conversational in Turkish without wasting years, if you have a Turkish partner, and if you're a beginner or intermediate in Turkish. This is not for you if you're an advanced level learner in Turkish. If you're busy and if you're looking for an efficient, flexible learning method, this video is for you. And if your origins are Turkish and you want to connect with your roots. If you love Turkish culture and you want to learn more about it, you're at the right place. And if learning Turkish will improve your life significantly, then stay until the end of this training. So I have taught Turkish all my life and I know how most students study Turkish right now. Let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you. You probably studied Turkish with YouTube videos or Duolingo. You have started with these and you have ended up frustrated or overwhelmed because you don't understand the rules. They don't teach you the things that you actually need. You only learn basic words and phrases. That's it. You're probably trying to learn everything you find on the internet and you're hoping that one day everything will come together and you will magically speak Turkish. Let me tell you from now, it's not going to happen that way. You feel like you're lost in so much information, nothing is systemized, you're not tracking your progress, you don't know if you're progressing or not, and you feel alone. You don't have anyone to support you on this journey. Probably no one around you learns Turkish with you, so you feel alone. You're trying to find answers to your questions on random forums by random Turkish people. Well, you're not alone. This is one of our students, Beth. She said that, I'm super happy to have found Turkishle. Thank you so much for having put together such a practical, true, and accessible program. Turkish is by far the hardest language I have ever tried to learn. Kusura bakma ama kolay değil. Harder than Japanese, and trying to teach myself through Netflix, YouTube, and Busu was not working. Turkish actually has me feeling hopeful. She also said, and as far as the online learning goes, Turkish is light years beyond its competitors. How are our students so successful then, you might be wondering? Well, we have developed a unique method called Turkish Accelerator Method, which is our proven Turkish teaching system that we use to teach Turkish to more than 3,000 students so far. And you can use the same system after watching this training today. So there are 3 components of this method. The first one is vocabulary grammar, the second one is speaking and pronunciation, and third one is accountability. Does it work? Yes, it works. This is one of our other students, Stacy. She's from United States. She said that I have done 3 of Turkish's VIP classes and this second week of the course isn't completed yet, but I read this perfectly. I can't believe how much I already know compared to 2 weeks ago. This is only the beginning. Best decision I made was joining the VIP program. So today's agenda is this: understanding the logic of Turkish so you finally stop translating in your head all the time. The second thing we're gonna look into is the useless vocabulary everyone is taught in traditional classes and the useful vocabulary that you can use that pertains to daily life. And I will also show you some quick pronunciation tips that you can apply today that will allow you to understand native speakers, plus you will sound more like them. And also I will tell you why Turkish learners feel lost and stuck in their learning journey and how to fix it. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Can and I'm the founder of the biggest Turkish learning platform in the world. So far, we got more than 3,000 students in our programs and we have privately taught Turkish to some foreign diplomats and famous athletes in Turkey. We have more than 300,000 followers across our social media accounts, and my wife is foreigner too. And I had the opportunity to see how her life changed after she learned Turkish. Right now we are living in Istanbul. Okay, hadi başlayalım. Let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is vocabulary and grammar. I'm going to give you some tips and I'm going to show you some really cool rules that you can use. So the sentence structure in Turkish is confusing for most Turkish learners, but let's clarify it. In English, you use subject, verb, object. I am going home, right? In Turkish, it is subject, object, and verb. But the thing is, we don't use this all the time, which means it is flexible. You can use the subject at the end sometimes. Sometimes you can put the verb in the middle. So it's flexible. That's why it's actually easier. Let me show you what I mean. If you use this structure, you will say ben eve gidiyorum. Subject is ben, eve is object, and verb is gidiyorum. And if you directly translate this to English, that will sound like I'm home going, which doesn't make sense in English, right? But you can also say in Turkish, ben gidiyorum eve. Now it became subject, verb, object. So it's same with English. You can also say eve gidiyorum ben. There's object, verb, and subject. And then you can say gidiyorum ben eve. All of these sentences are correct and you can use any of them. They don't sound weird or anything. And probably this one you're taught in the Turkish classes is the one that we use the least. So the second tip I have for you is to omit the subject and subject pronouns in Turkish. What do I mean by that? If you want to say I'm going home, you will say ben eve gidiyorum. But do Turkish people actually say it that way? No. What we say is eve gidiyorum. Eve gidiyorum. Which literally means the same thing. The only difference is that we don't use ben. We don't use the subjects. We don't use the subject pronoun. And why is that? Because we use this suffix for I. You don't need to use the subject to show people that you're talking about yourself, right? You're the one who's going home. Eve gidiyorum. We don't use the subject pronouns. Sen çay içer misin? Would you like to drink tea? Sen çay içer misin? What most Turkish people say is çay içer misin? Which sounds so much better. If someone asked me, sen çay içer misin? That would be kind of weird. That's why you can use this version as well. Çay içer misin is enough. It means the same thing. And sin here is the suffix for you. And the second tip I have for you is to omit the possessive pronouns in Turkish as well. To say, this is my house, you will say, bu benim evim in Turkish. Bu benim evim. But it doesn't really sound natural. What we will say is bu evim. Bu evim. As you can see, I removed the possessive pronoun here. Benim means my. We already have a suffix that means y here, which is im. That's why I don't have to use benim. If you don't have to emphasize that it is your house, you don't have to use benim. Another example, where is your phone? Senin telefonun nerede? Your is senin here. But again, I don't need to use senin, and this sentence is more natural. Telefonun nerede? Telefonun nerede? The reason I don't have to use senin is because I already have a suffix here, which is un. That means your. Okay, let's talk about something that drives me nuts. So if your first language is not English, you're probably taught to say, I'm fine, thank you, and you, when you were learning English. At least that's how I was taught when I was in school. But when I went abroad, I realized that literally no one says this and sounds so robotic. So I'm going to show you the equivalent of this in Turkish. I can't believe how many Turkish teachers and Turkish courses are teaching you these. If someone asks you, merhaba, nasılsın? Hi, how are you? Most Turkish learners unfortunately answers by saying iyiyim. Ya sen? İyiyim. Ya sen? Even though it doesn't sound weird in English, trust me, it does in Turkish. No one uses this. So, and then the other person will say iyiyim, teşekkürler. Now, what we use, like how I will answer this, is by saying iyiyim. Sen nasılsın? İyiyim. Sen nasılsın? So next time someone asks you merhaba nasılsın, use this instead. So let's talk about no in Turkish. You probably know what no means in Turkish, right? It's hayır. But did you know that most Turkish people don't use hayır? Instead, we mostly use yok in daily conversations. Because yok sounds a lot nicer, it sounds more polite when you want to reject something or when you want to reject someone. So yok means, no, I'm fine. For example, if someone asked you, çay içer misin? So they're offering you chai. Would you like to drink tea? If you say hayır, that sounds so aggressive. That's why most Turkish people don't say hayır like that. So what we use instead is yok. I will say yok. teşekkürler. It sounds much softer and you don't hurt the person who offer you tea. Karnın aç mı? Karnın aç mı? Hayır. But I will say yok. Yok. Eve gittin mi? Eve gittin mi? Did you go home? You can say hayır gitmedim, which might sound very direct and it sounds a bit aggressive, but what most Turkish people say is yok gitmedim. Yok gitmedim. So let me show you some examples.
Çay içer misin canım?
Yok abi burada dursam yeter.
Çay içer misin canım?
Yok abi burada dursam yeter. Ya dur ben ısmarlayacağım.
Yok, burası benim uzmanlık alanım.
Ya dur ben ısmarlayacağım.
Yok, burası benim uzmanlık alanım.
Let's talk about yes in Turkish. You probably know yes means evet in Turkish, and there's nothing wrong with using evet, but I will show you another way to say yes, which is used by most native Turkish speakers. So when you want to accept something, when you want to say yes, in a more natural way, let's say, you will use olur. Olur. And olur means it's possible, why not, sure. Sinemaya gidelim mi? Sinemaya gidelim mi? So you can say evet, but it kind of sounds robotic. That's why I will use olur. Olur. It sounds more natural, more laid back. You can think it of like that. Kahve içelim mi? Evet. Evet doesn't really sound good here. No one will say evet. If someone offers you coffee or chai, I won't say evet. I'll just say olur. Olur. Sounds much better. Let's say you met your friend in Istanbul and you're living in Istanbul. Let's assume that you're living in Istanbul. He or she asked you where you're living in Istanbul and you can say Çengelköy'de yaşıyorum. Çengelköy'de yaşıyorum. Yaşamak, this verb here is to live. Yaşamak, to live. And there's nothing wrong to say that, but I'll show you a more natural way to say it. I will say Çengelköy'de oturuyorum. Oturuyorum. Oturmak actually means to sit. But in this context we use it to say to live. And if you're telling someone where you live, which district you're living in a city, then you will mostly use oturmak instead of yaşamak. It sounds much more natural. This is Anastasia, one of our other students. She said, with Turkish, we don't sound like time travelers from the past or as if reading from an old textbook. So let's finish this section with some tips. The first thing I will recommend you is to follow a curriculum. Don't watch random YouTube videos without following any order. Find a curriculum. If you're A1, A2 level, B1 level, you can find it online easily and follow that curriculum. Otherwise, you won't know if you have learned the previous topics, and if you don't learn the previous topics, it's gonna be very difficult for you to progress in Turkish because everything is connected. Practice after you watched videos online. Otherwise, you will forget what you learned. It is very easy to forget the suffixes, the words you learn, because most probably you're not practicing them every day all the time. That's why you need to practice. And my last tip is to keep a list of the words that you learn and repeat them every day. If you don't repeat them, you will forget them very easily again. You can keep a Google Sheet, Google Doc, that's up to you, but keep a list of them. So let's talk about speaking and pronunciation now. I'll give you some quick tips. So bir in Turkish is one. And if you want to say bir when you're ordering something, we will use bi instead of bir. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're at this beautiful tea shop seeing the Bosphorus. If you want to order a tea, you will say bir çay alabilir miyim? Even though it's written as bir, we say it as bir çay alabilir miyim? No one says it like this. If you want to sound more like a native, definitely use this one. Another example. You want to order a döner, right? How would you say it? Turkish people say bir tavuk döner alabilir miyim? So again, we use bi. Let me show you some examples about this now.
Bana lütfen insan gibi bir çay verebilir misiniz? Bana bir çay bir kahve verin ya. Bana lütfen insan gibi bir çay verebilir misiniz? Bana bir çay bir kahve verin ya. Benimle evlenir misin Johnny?
Oh my god.
Ama bir şartım var. Ama bir şartım var.
My god. Oh my god.
Peki bir bisküven versen? Bir bisküven versen?
Another quick tip that you can apply today is about the future tense suffix in Turkish. So if I want to say I will read, I will say ben okuyacağım. Ben okuyacağım. And most Turkish teachers and most Turkish courses, they ask you to say it this way. But this is not how Turkish people say. If someone tells me ben okuyacağım, I will laugh at that person because it doesn't sound natural. It's not how we say it. What we say is ben okuyacağım. Ben okuyacağım. So we basically removed a, yumuşak g, and ı. So we are left with ben okuyacağım. Let's give some more examples. I will eat. Ben yiyeceğim. This is how you will write it. But when you're speaking, you will say ben yiyeceğim. Ben yiyeceğim. I will learn. Ben öğreneceğim. It's difficult to say, right? So instead, you will just say ben öğreneceğim. Ben öğreneceğim. Another quick tip is about the present continuous tense suffix. And this is also taught wrong in the Turkish courses, and I want to teach you the right way to say it. If I want to say you are going, then I will say sen gidiyorsun. Sen gidiyorsun. But this is not how we say it. In daily conversations, we will say sen gidiyorsun. Sen gidiyorsun. So we basically dropped the R and we just said sen gidiyorsun. Mehmet is not reading. This means Mehmet is not reading. Mehmet okumuyor. But we will just say Mehmet okumuyor. Mehmet okumuyor. You are working means siz çalışıyorsunuz. Siz çalışıyorsunuz. But I will just say siz çalışıyorsunuz. I will drop the R and say siz çalışıyorsunuz. So try to use the present continuous tense suffix like this, and your Turkish friends, your Turkish partner, I guarantee you they will be surprised. And here are some general tips for speaking. So you get good at what you practice. Don't complicate it. Speaking Turkish is not complicated. You just have to practice. Don't try to look for magic pills. Don't try to look for unique methods. You just have to speak to improve your speaking. And this will save you a lot of time. Thinking that you just have to speak to improve your speaking and there's no other way to improve it is the shortest way to improve your speaking. You have to practice at least 2 to 3 hours speaking every week. And you should not practice random topics. Sometimes I see Turkish teachers and students practicing very random topics without following any order, and that doesn't work. You should practice the things you learn so you know how to use them in a conversation. Let's say you have learned accusative case in Turkish. You should practice accusative case. You should learn how you will use it in a conversation. And that's why it's important that someone is actually tracking your progress and know all aspects of your learning. Because if someone doesn't know that, they will just try to practice everything with you. And then they will realize, okay, he doesn't know this, she doesn't know this, so let me not say this. So you waste time, they waste time, and it's not effective at all. You should not rely on your Turkish partner, your Turkish friends, or relatives to practice speaking, because I know from experience it never works. My wife is foreigner, and we tried to practice Turkish in the first year, but we always came back to English. Because it's just easier, right? You have so many other things to do. You don't think about practicing. You just want to do fun things. So don't rely on them. Here's one of our other students, Nikki. She's from Australia, and she said that after 2 speaking classes with her teacher Hilal, I was able to talk about the weather, how work was going, and that I was going to fly over and visit her next week. Normally, I just get very overwhelmed as she speaks fast and I lose, and by she means her Turkish friend in Turkey, as she speaks fast and I lose my confidence. So this was a huge moment for me. So Nikki started from scratch with us, and now she's able to have basic conversations over phone with her Turkish friends. So let's talk about the accountability. the last part. What do I mean by accountability? You should basically have someone who cares more about your progress in Turkish than you do. Because you have 1,000 things going on in your life and learning Turkish is probably not your first priority. You have a job, you have a business, you have things that you have to take care of. That's why it's difficult for you to focus on learning Turkish. Most of our students in the program, they can only commit 2 to 3 hours every week. That's why you need someone who will keep you accountable for what you need to study. You need someone who tell you what you need to study and how you need to study that. And you can't rely on your motivation if you want to become conversational in Turkish. You can have motivation for the first week, maybe for 2 weeks, but after the first 2 weeks, your motivation will just disappear. You have to have someone who will keep you disciplined after that. Otherwise, you will just feel demotivated and you won't continue learning Turkish. When you believe that you can learn Turkish yourself is actually the biggest roadblock in front of you to learn Turkish. It's the biggest reason you're stuck right now. Please change that mindset. Maybe you're like so good at learning languages, maybe you learned 5 languages before, then that's different, but 99% of the people that watch this video, probably they have jobs, they have a busy life, and they don't have 10 hours to study Turkish every week. And if you want to take this seriously, become conversational in Turkish, don't think that you can do it on your own. Otherwise, you will just waste years. So as I told you, someone needs to track your progress and let you know about what you need to focus on, what you need to study in Turkish. That's the fastest way to improve your Turkish. So you have a choice now. You can take what I've shared today and implement it yourself, where you may face these challenges. You might have to spend a lot of time to find a good Turkish tutor and pay $30 to $40 for every private lesson. You might have to buy grammar books that are overpriced and outdated on Amazon. You might have to try find answers to your questions online on forums, which takes a lot of time and you're not sure if the answer they give is correct. You might have to practice Turkish with random people that you find on the internet. You don't know if they're trustworthy, you don't know what their purpose is, or you might have to keep studying with Duolingo, which is the worst, to learn the basics over and over again. Or, this is the second option, you can learn Turkish with us following a proven roadmap with a personalized learning plan for you. You can have one of our highly trained native Turkish teachers who will be with you on this journey so you can see results quickly, like this month. You can have absolute clarity of what to do next and guarantee your results if you just do the work. Just like Amran, he went to the Turkish consulate in Dubai and spoke Turkish with the officers, and Turkish people were literally shocked that he was learning Turkish just for 6 weeks with Turkishly. You can watch his video below. Or like Kate, she is one of our other students. She is now able to speak Turkish with her Turkish bride and her Turkish family in Turkey after taking Turkish's VIP coaching program. You can also watch her video below. So if you chose the second option, here's exactly how we are going to help you become conversational in the next 3 months. I'm happy to introduce you to Turkish's VIP coaching program. It's Turkish's 3-month-long, most comprehensive teaching program that helps you one-on-one so you can have confident conversations in Turkish in just 3 months. How does it work? The first step is to schedule a discovery call with us. Second step is to enroll in the program. Third one, completing the level assessment test, and now we will prepare your weekly study plan. You will start the program, and this is what you're going to get in the program. So let me show you each step in detail now. So the first step is to schedule a discovery call with us. So this is going to be a Zoom meeting where we basically ask you some questions. We will try to get to know you better and understand your goals in Turkish, so we can be 100% confident that we can actually help you. We will lay out a solid action plan so you have a map of how you will get conversational in Turkish in the next 3 months. You will know exactly how you will get there. And that 45 minutes that we're going to spend together will be probably one of the most beneficial and useful time for you, because you will have a clear idea about how you're going to become conversational in Turkish, even if you don't work with us. So you can click the button below to schedule your discovery call. After that, you will enroll in the program. If you're 100% sure that we can help you, we will tell you about the details, and then you will enroll in the program like our other students. So the first thing you're going to do after enrolling in the program is to complete our level assessment test. So we will basically send you a level assessment test where we will understand your reading skills, grammar skills, what you know in terms of grammar, how is your listening. We want to know exactly where you are in your Turkish learning journey. We want to know how we can create the most efficient system, most efficient plan for you. Because we don't want to waste your time teaching the things that you already learned. And then you will select your lesson days and hours. We will basically send you a form where you can select the days and the hours that you're free for the lessons. And then we're going to match you with one of our teachers. So you might be wondering, who are the teachers? Should I trust them? Let me show you Turkish less teachers. So these are Turkish less teachers. Let me tell you about how we hire teachers. We probably get 3 to 5 applications every day from Turkish teachers who want to teach at Turkish Lab. But we have a very long process of hiring teachers. To become a Turkish Lab teacher, they should first possess a university level Turkish teaching certification. They should also have at least 4 years of teaching experience. And they should speak English fluently. I know this is one of the problems with other Turkish teachers. Some of them don't speak English fluently, so even when you ask a question, it's difficult for them to explain. Our teachers speak Turkish fluently. Some of them know other languages as well. They should also pass Turkish less test. So we have our own test that we send to our teachers, and they should pass that test too. And another thing they should do is to give trial lessons, which we evaluate to qualify them. So you have done your level assessment test, and we have matched you with one of our native Turkish teachers. What's going to happen after that is your Turkish teacher will look at your level assessment test, and she will create a personalized weekly study plan for you. This is how the study plan will look like. You will know exactly what you need to do every week to improve your Turkish. You won't have to wonder what you need to study that week. Everything will be clear. Everything will be easy to track your progress. Your teacher will track your progress through this weekly study plan. For example, this is the 5th week of one of our students. Basically, the program is 12 weeks and you're seeing the 5th week of the program. So you're going to study grammar, you will learn new vocabulary, you will improve your reading, listening, and writing through our platform. So your Turkish teacher will assign you the lessons you need to complete every week. This is an example week. You need to watch the lesson videos for nominal sentences, and then you need to do the vocabulary lists, exercises, you need to complete reading exercises, listening, you need to do a writing exercise as well, and at the end you will take a quiz. And you're going to study these lessons through our platform. And let me show you how the platform looks like. So this is our course platform where you will study the lessons. Basically, we have units. Every unit starts with some objectives, and then we have PDF lesson summaries that you can download. And after that, you will watch lesson videos. Let's check 1B, demonstrative pronouns.
Lem. O ne? If the object is very, very far away, quite far away, then I use.
After watching the lesson videos, you will do exercises. These are interactive exercises that will correct itself. For example, bu ev, check it. Şu sandalye, check it. So this is the grammar exercises. Then you will have listening. Then you will have vocabulary lists and exercises.
Ev.
They look like this. And let's say you have a question. You can ask them in the comment section, and our teacher Betülay will answer you. Then, as I told you, we have listening exercises.
Merhaba, Türkiye'ye hoş geldin. Burası İstanbul. İstanbul çok
And then we have real-life dialogue videos, which shows you how native Turkish speakers use that grammar subject you just learned in real-life scenarios.
Selam. Çok soğuk ya.
Bir banyo.
Aa evet, biraz küçük. Şurası balkon mu?
Evet, balkon. Çiçekler orada. And at the end of each unit, we have an exam where you can test yourself about, the grammar you learned, how is your listening, reading, and writing. So this is how the platform looks like. So what about speaking? So you will basically have 2 one-on-one speaking sessions with your teacher every week. You will decide the hours and the days for the sessions. And as I told you, this program is a 3 months long program, which means you will have 12 weeks. Every week you will have 2 one-on-one speaking sessions. And you will also have 2 group speaking sessions every week. The first one is on Wednesday, second one is on Sunday, and they're on 7 p.m. Turkey time. So you will basically have 4 speaking sessions every week. You will practice what you learned that week so you know how you can use them in real life. Your teacher will give you feedback after each lesson about what you need to study, what you need to focus on, about your pronunciation as well. And this is one of our students, Rawan. She said that I feel like I have already come such a long way when I'm only 6 weeks into the program. You will also get homeworks and challenges. Your teacher will assign you the homework and the challenge, and then you will send the homework to your teacher to get feedback. We have a private Slack group for our students, and in this private Slack group we basically talk about living in Turkey, we talk about series, movies. You will be able to ask questions to other learners, you can connect with them, and you can also ask questions to our teachers. And you will also be able to practice Turkish by texting. So that's another benefit of being in the group. And accountability is one of the most important parts of this program. Your teacher will make sure that you get the best out of the program by constantly tracking your progress and adjusting your weekly study plan according to your needs. Sometimes you will have to travel. Sometimes you will miss the lessons. We're not going to tell you, okay, just learn it yourself and then come back. We will make sure that we adjust your program to match with your needs, to match with your lifestyle. That's how you can progress the fastest. Obviously, your teacher will answer your questions and support you in your Turkish learning journey in the next 3 months. So this is one of our students, Chan. Chan was a complete beginner when he started the program. He wanted to learn Turkish to communicate with her Turkish girlfriend's family in Turkey. He has made great progress in his Turkish with us, and since then he got married, he went to Turkey many times. He spent times with her family in Turkey by speaking Turkish. He didn't use Google Translate that much, and he was able to connect with them on a much deeper level. This is one of our other students, Samer. He said that I have really enjoyed the program. I find it well planned. My teacher's delivery and explanation is very good. I think that the conversations during the lessons are forcing me to improve and use my Turkish in day-to-day dialogues. So this is how the weekly study plan will look like for you as well. So click the button below to schedule your discovery call with us and finally start learning Turkish in a proper way, in a structured way. So if you truly want to become fluent in Turkish, there aren't a million ways to go about it. I've done this my whole life, and from my perspective, this is the best way, if not the only way, to become conversational in Turkish in the shortest amount of time possible. So if you would like to learn Turkish with us, I would like to invite you to a Zoom call where I will ask you some questions to understand your goals, what have you done so far, and if I'm 100% confident that we can help you, then I will explain the details to you. In the worst case scenario, I will show you where to go from here, so I will show you the right direction and you get a free consultation call. And don't worry, you won't have to speak Turkish the entire time on the call. I will probably ask you some questions in Turkish just to understand your level, but other than that, the call will be in English. It will just be an opportunity for me to show you the program from inside. So now it's time to make a decision for you. Again, learning Turkish through most resources and most Turkish courses online is like trying to learn how to play golf with your next door neighbor. It will be a long, painful, and frustrating experience. If becoming conversational in Turkish is truly important to you, and you finally stop using Google Translate, or you want to ask favors from other people, other Turkish people who speak English, then you owe this to yourself. Soon you will be like all of our students who go to Turkey and speak Turkish with native Turkish speakers. Trust me, becoming conversational in Turkish, speaking Turkish will significantly improve your life, and your life will never be the same. Your world will look totally different. So book that call by clicking the button below, and we will see how we can help you the best. Bye bye. Görüşürüz.